EdYoda, the end of your job search and the beginning of your dream career. EdYoda's live sessions are taught by industry experts, giving you hands-on experience and practical knowledge with real projects, not just degrees. EdYoda's industry-recognized certifications will help you stand out in the job market. And that's not all. With EdYoda's exclusive job board featuring 500+ companies, finding your dream job has never been easier. Say goodbye to endless job searching and hello to your dream career with EdYoda. Join EdYoda student community today and start building your dream career.
Hello guys, now we can start our project, that is mastering Python using list and function. Before that, let me introduce myself. I am Zeba Kainat. Currently, I'm working as a system engineer in TCS for around 8 to 7 months, and I have a total experience of 4 years. I have chosen this topic because of the reason nowadays many things are going on, and for every practical solutions we want something which can be easily accommodated to it. So now the world is moving on to the automation part, so we are going to find some logical solution to it using some code, some other things, some automation techniques and all. So if some moving on to with some automation techniques, there are machine learning, data science and other fields which are very familiar or reliable for making our practical things very easy. So for that, we in school and colleges, you all know that there are libraries everywhere present. So how these libraries are managed, because it has many shelves, there are many books written by other many authors, different authors, there are different editions. So for that, I am going to create one web app kind of things which is going to make that keeping all the things in an adequate manner very easily. So basically we are going to develop an small application which will make the librarian easy, or the person who are working on the library very for easy for them to do their work. So yes, so in this workshop we are going to cover the introductory part, how we are going to kick off our project, what all things we are going to do in that. We will discuss that part as well, and the summary of it, that what is going to be required or what we think that we can inbuild in that through some concept and some topic, so that it will make it easier and easier for use. So now the introduction. So this workshop and the project which we are going to accomplish in this workshop will include the concept, list, function, class and object. So all of you have learned, if you have someone who have already been learning Python, they know that what is list, what is function, what is class and object. Okay, so we are going to use these three functionality and some more functionality to make this web app. So what is list? You already know, or some of them already know, or whoever is not knowing and generating their interest right now by attending this live workshop, they can go and learn basic concept of Python so that they can inbuilt by themselves and they can learn thoroughly. So what is list? List is just a collection of heterogeneous types of data, and we can edit inside that list whenever we want. We can append into it, we can delete some elements from it, we can add as well, and we can access some elements in it also. So that's why it's a very familiar and easy kind of thing. Indexing is possible inside that. So we can use list, which make our code very easier, very compatible, and we can work on it very ease. So what is function? Function is of different types. So function, you can say just a method, or we can say what we are going to do in our project. There are other operations which we need to perform, delete, edit, something kind of thing. So for that we are going to use function. It's a block of code which is called whenever we required. Classes and objects. So what is class? Class, you can say with let me discuss with a very practical example. Like if you are living in a family, so there are some people who are from uh, like, you can say there is some like someone from your maternal family, someone is from paternal family. So through class we can divide them, that okay, there is a paternal class, so whoever relatives are from them, they can be in the class paternal, and whoever relatives are from the maternal side, they can be, we can put them in a class maternal, and we can create an object for both of them, so that whenever we require someone to call from paternal class, we can call it through that object, and whenever we require from someone to call from the maternal class, so we can call from there. So this is how class and object work. So we are going to use all these three functionality along with some basics one as well. Whoever is like attending or for the first time, or whoever is not knowing Python at all, they, after this workshop, if you get interest in it, you should learn some basics and then try to resolve this or try to code some this thing by your own. Now, as you all know, Python is a general purpose language which is going to make our software, make our application, make our daily life problems very easy. It's used in other automation languages or automation part as well, as I told you, in data science for doing some analysis on data, machine learning. It is very much easier to do all the automation part with the using of Python language. As you all know, Python is a oops concept. It's an object oriented programming language. So basically everything in Python is an object. Okay, so what happen, it's portable also. We can easily take the file of that code, whatever you have written in whatever file, you can easily take that file and you can run in other computer as well, other PCs as well. What, wherever you want, you can run it. So it's portable, it's very much secure. This language is very much secure. So there are various benefits for using Python. So what's the main reason for choosing this project? So as I already told you in the introductory part, that we are going to schools and colleges. Every school and colleges is having a library. Even who are working somewhere in the organization, they are also having their library in their offices for their upskills and development. So it's a very basic need which every organization, every school, and every colleges wants. So there are many students, many books, everyone have interest in one or the other things. So the library will be very big. So how to manage all the books, how to easily access a book from that library? Because if you go by manual way, so you need to go and search, okay, this book is at which deck, or this book is from at which shelf. You need to go and search manually, one by one. So if you will have this software with you, or if you are going to make the software with you, so the main benefit which is going to have, it will make very easier for a person to find out that which book is at which shelf. Okay, which edition is missing, we need to add in it. Which edition is like which we don't want, so we can remove that and update in place of that there some other things. So these are the things which is a very basic need nowadays in every school, colleges and organization. So making that practical problem, basic practical problem, very easy. So for that reason we are going to build a library management system through basics Python. This Python is not whatever we are going to do right now in our project. So it's not a very vast kind of detailed concept we are going to use. No, we are just going to use some basic concept, and from them we are going to do the backend code of our project. Now move on to the next. Let's start the main part, main agenda of our project. So I have made a flow chart in which I have divided that what we are going to do, what we are going to make, what all the things will be there in our project. Okay. So we are going to make a book library, which will be consisting of some classes and function. We are going to use three classes: operation class, book class, main class. In operation, there will be various kinds of function which will be used for different purposes. Book class will have some initializations of the variable. Main class will have some choice, and then you can say we are going to we are going to run our whole project from the main class. Now when we come to functions, we are going to use here user defined. We are going to make our own function, and the getter and setter function, this function is inbuilt. It's used for taking the variable and setting the variable, or you can say setting the attribute. Okay. So now get on to the detailed summary of our project. So our main objective is to build a library web app, a little library web app which is going to have a backend code only. Okay. So first we are going to do main class. I'm not going to create in this order only, that main class, operation class or book class. We'll start with the initialization of our variables, but our objective is to create all the three classes. The various action items are provided here to create variable. Execute function will create some object, and the descriptions are also mentioned. So main class is basically going to have the execution part of our whole project through classes, object and other things. We are going to create an option list as well. So by choosing this function is going to work. Operation class, as I already told you, will going to have some functions which is for like adding, deleting, viewing, searching, updating kind of thing. And book class will have your have the initialization of all your variables through getter and setter methods. We are going to use str inbuilt method as well, so that we can control our output, how our outputs as string representation, so we can know that how how we want our output and how it should look like. Okay. So let's start with our code. We'll start with the initialization of the variables through our by creating a book class. So let's start now. So we are going to create a book class first, which is going to have all our variables initialized through getter and setter function, and we are going to use some inbuilt function as well. Okay. So let's make our project as book library, class book. So this is the syntax of creating a class book. Now we will we will introduce our function. Init is used for initializing our variable. It's a kind of constructor. Self ID, name, edition, publisher, who is going to publish that or who has written that book or published that book, book's ID, book's name, their edition, that which edition is the book, publisher name, and price of the book. So we are going to have these 5 variables with us. So how we are going to define a function? So we use def keyword for defining a function. Init method is not a user defined function. This is an inbuilt function which we use for initialize our variables. Now we will initialize our variable. Self dot id equals to id. Self dot name will be name. Self dot edition edition. Self dot publisher equals to publisher. Self dot price equal to price. So that's how we initialize our variable, by passing it in the init function as a parameter, and then we are initializing our variable. We are storing this parameterized value for id into self.id, name into self.name, edition into self.edition, publisher into self.publisher, and price into self.price. Now we are going to use one more inbuilt function, that is str underscore str method, which is used to control the output of our string representation in Python. Okay, so str. Now we are going to give a return statement. So in this line, we are using f, means this is a format function which we use by to get our value in an parameter form, in a format form. So that's why we are using f here. We are passing our values, or you can say our variables name, so that we get the value in this manner only, because we are going to create a list for choosing options that which function or operations we are going to perform. So I have done created for book ID and name. In the similar way, I am going to create for edition, publisher, and price as well. We have done for book edition. Now moving on to with book publisher. So it's self dot publisher, and the last which we are going to do is for book price. So now we'll close this. Just a moment. Now we are going to close this bracket and the quote as well, which we started here in F. So now we have defined our string the way we want our output as a string representation. So we have done that. Now we are going to use the getter and setter function to set our value and get the same value whenever we want through our code, or by using, like by getting that function, we'll fetch the value from that function, getter function or setter function, and then from that value the operation is going to happen, and then the actual value we are going to get through that, through the getter function. So now we are going to define it for each and every parameter which we passed in the init method. So def get id self, we are passing self, return self dot id, def set id, passing self to it, as we are setting this here right now. So what we'll do, we'll put self dot id equals to id. Now we are going to do the same for name. So get name, passing the self parameter into it. Now we are returning, because get function is used to fetch the value, fetch the result. So that's why we are returning in the get function. So what we are returning, self dot name. Then we'll define the set function for it as well. Set name, passing self, and self dot name equals to name. Now we need to do the same process for all the things, means for all the other parameters we have done now for two, that is get I for id and name. Now we are going to do the same for edition, publisher, and price as well. Define get addition, passing self to it, return, self dot addition. Now set function. Actually, this is going to be very interesting when we complete our code and when we are going to run our code now, and we can going to perform our operations, that how we are going to delete the book, how we are updating or adding some book. So it is going to be very interesting to be seen. So be there till the last time or the last minute till when we are doing the workshop, so you will be going to get a very interesting kind of thing. Okay, now set addition. Now for publisher, get underscore publisher. Now we are setting the publisher parameter. Never use the name of the function or some variable name which is similar to, like what I can say, which is similar to the name or the of the keyword which is already been inbuilt in Python. Never use that kind of word, because it is going to hamper your code. Okay, it will not run anything, and it is going to take the value or like code or function, whatever it is behind, which is already inbuilt in Python. So whatever there in Python which is written for that keyword, it's going to work for that. So it is not be working like your user defined function. So don't use the same keyword which is like similar to the inbuilt functions, methods, or name of some data type and all. So don't use that kind of thing. It's going to hamper your code. Okay. So set publisher self dot publisher equals to publisher. Now last methods we are going to make for price is get price, passing self to it, returning the value of it, value of price, and then we are going to set the value of price as well. If we are setting no, so we will do self dot price equal to price. So by the last line of this code, we can say that we have successfully created a class book, and we have initialized all our variables which we are going to use in our code through init method, which is used as a constructor in Python and which is also inbuilt. And we have used one more inbuilt method, that is string method. For the what the syntax is underscore underscore str underscore underscore brackets, and we have returns our variable in a format in a string representation through it, so that we want our output in the way we want. If you don't use string method in the code, So it is just going you to give, it is just going to give you the string representation, their initial line, how the string is going to represent it, not the actual value. So try to use str functions whenever you are doing some kind of big code. It is very much easier for it, and it will also benefit you because the combination of getter and setter with str method, it's very awesome. So use it. It is going to give you a very personalized and very fantastic view of your code whenever a project, whenever you are going to run it. Okay, so that combination is very nice. So try to use whenever you are using getter and setter, so try to use str function so that you get a view of your project very extremely nice. Okay, so this is how we have done. After that, we have used our getter and setter function to our set our value and get our value whenever we are going to what. So that for that we have used other user defined functions, and we have written whatever parameter we have passed, or we have set the value whatever for whatever parameters we want. So this part we have completed. We have completed our initialization of the variable. Now if we'll run it one time, it will not show you any output. It ran successfully. It's showing you one means it ran successfully. It is not going to give you any output, because what we have done in this, we have just created a class and define our variables, and just we have set our values and we have defined a function for getting our value. We are not passing some actual parameters through object, so that why we'll get that value if we are not passing some parameters, right? So that's the reason it is not showing you any output while you are running this code. Okay, so this is the case. Now move on to our presentation slide. So now you can see from the presentation slide, we have successfully created a book class, which is going to create variables and some function. The main part for it, the initialization of the variable, taking our output through getter and setter methods using str inbuilt method. Now, the second part which we are going to build, or which we are going to make our code or make our application as a working application, so we should define some function inside that. So what our code is going to do, or what this software is going to do, if you are like running, let me take you, if you are running opening a Swiggy uh, application on your mobile, or their website on your laptop, wherever you like. So if by login you just see nothing there, so would it be like the use of that application to be there, why that application has been met if there is nothing inside that? So it doesn't look good. That application is built, or that app is built for some purpose, like to order foods. So how they are going to do that? They will get there some menus, some restaurants, some like grocery things they have inbuilt as well currently. So the what is the actual purpose, or what is the actual function for which that application has been made? So now we are going to work on that actual or working part of our code. How we are going to do that? We are going to create a class as well for it, and we are going to create some user defined function for various operations which we are going to perform on it. Okay, so now let's move on to our operation class. It will look very nice when you build your operations one by one. It is going to look very good. Okay, so try to focus on it, because this part is the most extreme part, or the working part which we are going to build. So all our application, all the functions or our application is going to be totally built on this class. Okay, so try to focus in this. and rest, as I already told you, be there till the last minute so that you can get the access of a very authentic and application in a very easy manner. Try to be there till the last minute, guys. Whoever are there, please be there till the last minute. Okay. Now, chalo, we are going to start with making of the operation class. So, yeah, as we have already run this, now we will start with our operation class. So, class operation, as I already told you how we are going to make a class and all. So how we are defining the what's the syntax of creating a class. So this is the syntax of creating a class. Now we are going to create an empty list which is going to have all the details of our book, their price, their name, their id, and their edition, their publisher name. So all of the things we are going to put inside that list. Why we are giving the id of that uh, inside that book list? The main reason for putting it, the main reason is putting it like whenever we are arranging our books on the shelf, so we should mention that on which shelf we put it on, so that there is some unique representation of that book. Through that, we can easily fetch our book. Sometimes we don't know what's the name of the book, or sometimes we don't remember like how we are going to like fetch the book if someone doesn't know the name or forgot to remember the name. So at that time we can search it through id of the book. So there will be some categories. Okay, this id will have these category of books. So in that manner we can like, okay, we can search by, okay, id1. So what are all the books under id1? So from that we can again search something, we can do that kind of thing. So that is why the id is very much necessary to have in our program. It will make easier for accessing the books. And you also know indexing is possible in list. We can access some elements or some part of the list through indexing. So id will be going to be very helpful while you are going to access some books or want to view some books from there, okay, or search some book from there. So now we are going to use here uh, 4 to 5 to 6 methods, like adding book. The functions we are going to create for adding book, updating, deleting, viewing, search the book by id, and search the book by name. Are going to see the searching part with both of them. Okay, so now let's start with our main function. First we are going to create an empty list. I'm going book list, name as book list. So we have create an empty list here. Now we are going to define a function and user defined function for add book. So through this function, what's the purpose of this function? This function is going to add books. If some new books has been came, so in that case, we can add our book by entering their details. We can easily add the book in it. Okay, now next, what is next step? We will add all the details, like their, what I can say, like their id, their name, their edition, because at the time of edition we require all those things. So now we are going to take id equals to, we are going to take the id in integer. That's why we are using int. If you don't use, like, let's see, if we write input enter book id, so what this mean? this will be going to take the input for sure, but this will be going to show or take the input in a string format. So we don't want that. We don't want to enter our ID as a string. We want our ID should be as int, not string. So for that reason, we are using int here. So int input name. For name, we will write as it is, because we don't want our name to be int. It will not really look like nice, because our name must not have an integer value. Like, it's not, our name is not like that, 0 1 2, or your int representation or your number representation of your letters. So it's not going to look good. So we will going to keep our name as string format only. So enter the book name. Now next, the edition, which edition we are going to have for that book, or there are some different editions which have came in the market for that particular book, first edition, second edition, third. So we are going to keep the edition, and we are going to keep it in string only, because sometimes it's depend on someone, whoever wants to keep that in string, or if they want to enter like 1 2 3, or sometimes someone want to enter the addition in Roman number. So for that reason, I'm keeping it in string only, string format only. Enter book edition. Now next was our publisher. Publisher is also going to be in end. The reason I already told you that it is going to have a name. So let's put it in string format only. Enter book publisher. Now the next parameter on the next input which we are going to take is the price. Okay, so price we are going to put on which we are going to put the price in float representation. The reason is that if we are going to put int, it is also going to take a number, but when we are going to take float, it will have the value in the decimal format as well. The main reason is that the book price will not be every time in a whole number like 100 200 150. Sometimes it can be 150.5, 150.75. So for that reason, we are going to take this input in float. Enter book price. So that's how okay, so that's how we are going to take our value in the add function. Now we are going to create object. Okay, object of the of which class? We are going to create the object of the book class, this class. The reason is that when we are adding some books to our shelves or to our library, so how we are taking our value? We are taking our value through getter and setter function. Just a moment, guys. Let's just take a break of 1 minute and then we will start again. So I'm back. Now we'll move on to again to our code. So yes. So now, so we were where we are like going to create an object for getting our parameters or getting our parameters value for addition our book in our library. Okay, so for that reason we are going to use that. So we are going to create the object of which class? We are going to create the object of this book class which we already made, and how we are going getting like taking our values from there through getter and setter function. So now we'll create an object for it, book object. And now what we are going to do, just a moment. Now we are going to pass our parameters there, because how we are going to call our parameters or how we are going to get that value from getter and setter here. For that reason, we need to call the parameter which was already there in the getter and setter through function. So we are passing the parameters in the object while creating the object. So id was written as id, name was written as name, edition was written as edition, publisher was written as publisher, last was our price. Price, we are written our variable name was price only. Okay, we are just storing the parameter which we used in the book class. We are just storing our parameters which we use in our book class here with the same name, so that it can be used in this as well, in this class as well. That's the reason we are making the name same. Okay, so as now we have created our object. Now will what we'll do, will after getting the all the after setting all the values, now we will add it to that empty list. So how we are going to add it? So we are going to use an append function. Through append function, what is going to do, it's a method used in list which is used to add elements to the list at the end. It is going to add elements at the end, not in between, not in the front. It's going to add elements in the end. So if we are pushing one book details, so if we are going to again like push or add another book, so where it will going to add it in that list at the end, means after the first entry it's going to add, not before the first entry. Okay, so we are going to use append because we want the addition to be happen in that manner only. That's the reason we are using append here. So for that, what we'll do, self dot book list dot append, and we'll pass here our object, whatever object we have created, that is book underscore obj. So now if when we have successfully passed our parameter, so this line is going to add our book, this line is going to add our book successfully in this empty list, and it is going to be stored in it. Okay, so now will after addition will print like book added successfully. Okay, now see how it's looking nice. So it is very much necessary to do our code as well in that manner, no? So when you are like viewing your code or viewing your app or your project, so it looks good, the representation and visualization of it looks good. So you should add or inbuilt lines, methods, as many as you want to make your code visualization very familiar, very easy, very authentic, very eye catching. Okay, now we have successfully built one function for adding book. Now move on to for creating another function. For after additions, let's say we want to view our books. That okay, what books we are having in our library. So for that manner, for that reason, we are going to create a function which is going to use for viewing the books. So view book will pass the self parameter in it. Now we are going to viewing book, like for this the code is not going to be very much difficult or lengthy or long. The reason is that it's we just need to like iterate through that list, through that whole list, and one by one we want to print the list elements. So it is very much easier code which we are going to use in books, just iterating over that list and nothing much. So we use for loops for the iteration, because you all know there are two loops, for and while in Python. For is used for iteration and while is used when we use some condition concept in our code. So for that reason while is used, and when there is some iteration we use for loop. So for I in self dot book list, because everything, every data what which like which we are having in is it is in what? It was in book list, this list. So that's why we are iterating that list only. Self dot book list. The spelling is wrong. Yeah, self dot book list. We are iterating to it, and then we are printing the elements like print I, and we'll give like slash n, you know this is used for a new line. So for make our, as I already told you, to make our code look very good, very eye catching, for that reason we are using for we use slash n or some other things so that it looks good. We can see everything part by part, not in a haphazard manner. That's why we use n. Okay, now, this function has been done. If we want to see books, we view books in our library. We just need to call this view book function, and all the books which is there in your library, you will be able to see that. Okay. Now, next function is deleting the book. If we don't want some book is very old, so in that case, you can delete the book from your library, or you can remove the book from your library. Okay. So we are going to now create a delete function for our library. So how we are going to delete? It can be easier, as I told you before starting our project, that we are using ID here. So we can easily delete the book through the ID. So what we'll do when we call this function, we ask that please put the ID of the book which you want to remove from the library. So for that reason ID. So int, we have taken our ID in int. So we'll int input, enter book ID which you want to delete. Okay. Now the main actual working of that function is we are going to implement now. After taking the book ID, okay, they want to delete, there are 5 books in the library right now. They want to delete the third number which is not used in many years. We want to remove that from our library. So okay, enter the book ID which you want to delete, 3. So now the main function will work on the 3 ID, third ID. So how it's going to remove? It's iterate to your list, and it will in the process of iterating only, when it will encounter that okay, this id is matching whatever value we are iterating in the list. If it matches, if both matches, if this value, this id, if 3 is present in that list, then remove that 3. Okay, so this is how we are going to remove it. So for that, now we just implement it. How we are going to do that? First iterate through that list. For books in self dot book list, we have iterated through book list, and we are storing the elements whichever in book list in book variable. Okay, now we started, and in the process of iterating only, we will match whatever id we have give, and whatever is there in that book list is matching or not. If it is there, it will remove it, otherwise it will throw you an error. So this is how we are going to do that. So now we will match. If books dot book list, book list, no, why book list? Books dot get id means whatever id we have set at the time of adding books. So that id we are getting through this get method. Okay, so we are going to call that getter function here to get that id which we have set at the time of addition of the book. Okay, so books dot get id, if this id is matching with this id which we have passed, means this id. So if it satisfies, then what it's going to do, it is going to remove that id details from that book list, means from the library. So self dot book list dot remove, and like we have stored the iteration elements in this variable. So books, if it matches, it will remove that element from there. And then we can write like print, we can give a print statement that book deleted successfully. So that's how we delete a book from our library. So as of now, we have created 3 functions: for adding the book in our library, for viewing the book in our library, and for deleting the book in our library if we do not require that. Okay, so there are, as I told you, there are 2 more function, or 3 more functions, like yeah, 3 more function. Searching your book by id, as how we have deleted, so we will do that by id, the searching, that directly searching. In this case, we are going to see all the books which is there in the library. But if we delete it by sorry, if we search it by id or search it by name, so we are going to see that particular book only. So that is very much easier if we don't want to see the whole library or we don't want to search the whole library. So in that case, it is very much familiar to use that function. So first, I'm going to show you both function, how to search by ID as well as by book. But let's start first with searching by ID. So for that, def search book by ID. We'll pass the self parameter here. If as if we have like deleted our books from the through ID, so we have taken ID there. So if we are searching some book by ID, so we need to take ID here as well. Okay. So ID equals to int, same, we have taken an int. So we have right now also we need to take an input, enter book ID. Okay, we have taken input now. Now what we need to do, we need to iterate as we have iterated and delete. Okay, and when it matches, instead of removing, it is going to print that book name. In this case, if it matches, what it is going to do, it is removing that book details. But when in case of searching, when it get matches, then it is going to print the details of that book. Okay, so this much difference is there. Otherwise, the rest of the functionality or rest of the code part of this is same. So for books in self dot book list, we have iterated. Now if we match the condition, if books dot get ID ID, then print the details of books. Okay, so whatever details will be there while iterating inside that list, which is related to that ID, that book details is going to be printed. Okay, and if nothing is present or that ID is like that ID doesn't match with anything, in that case, what we are going to give, we are going to print book not found. Okay, so if it matches, it will print the details, otherwise it's going to print book not found. But if it matches, we are going to give a break statement. Okay, the reason is that we don't want to if we are like doing any particular function, so we don't want to move it further. So that's the reason we used this. So we can use this else statement in this as well. The deleting part as well, we are going to use here as well. First we are going to use break, and then else print ID not found. You can give this. Okay, so it will make your code looks very much good. Okay, so this is how we have completed our 4 operations which we are going to perform in this application. Now move on to the next function, which is searching the book by name. Okay, whenever you are going to do this by yourself, no, you'll get very enthusiastic. trying to build some things, some kinds of thing like this by your own, it would get a boost in yourself, who is a like a fresher or who is in their college learning Python and trying to build something. These are this thing are going to be very helpful for them. So try to build, learn, and try to do this, build this by your own, so you will get more clarity into it. Okay, try to do it by yourself. Now let's do our work on our next function, that is search book by name. We'll pass on the self parameter as we are passing in that. Now we need to take a name. Name will be in string because we are searching by a name, so we need to give some name beforehand, so then only it will like match that if it is there or not. So we need to give a name. Now enter name of the book you want to search. For in that case also we need to iterate for books in book list. If this is going to also happen the same code, this is also going to contain the same code, little bit of difference in it, because in first it is going to get the ID, here it is going to get the name of the book. Through name we are going to find our book if it is there in the library or not. So if books dot get name equals to equals to name, if it matches, then print books. Same what we have done in search book by ID. If it matches, then we need to just do this, print the book details. Here also we will do the same thing. We'll give a break statement. If it matters, just break out from it, move it, exit from it. Otherwise, if not found, then right, give a print statement. I myself getting like more feeling good by like building this code. So when you are going to try now, you get more inspiration, more your like more happiness if you like successfully built it and run it and make a software with using the front end and other parts, a complete software, and you are going to present it somewhere. So it is going to be very like good, very, you feel very nice that you have built something by your own. Okay, so try to be focused, be till the last minute, and then see what magic you can do by learning these things. Now, our final function which we are going to build, which we are going to implement is update. Update book. Pass this self parameter. How we are going to update book? First, we are going to search our books through ID. Then we are going to iterate through that ID. Then we are going to match the ID, that if it's there in that book, in that list or not. And after that, whatever things we want to update, we need to write each and every line for it. Like we need to, after like what I can say, uh, I can say that like uh, you want to update the name or you want to update the price for that book. So you should get all the options for updating If you want to update, update it. If you don't want to update, write the same thing as it is there. Okay, so in that case you can update. So as we are going to search and update through id, so we'll give id int. We are going to take it in int input, enter the id you want to update. Now iterate for books in book list. If books dot get id, it matches with id, then update the things. So for updating, what we are going to update, name. We don't need to get update the id because id is unique. As I already told, id is unique. So we are not going to update the id. We are going to update the other parameters here. So name will be in string format only. So we'll just use input, enter book name. Next, what was there? Edition. Next was edition. Enter the, okay, it is not looking good. Enter book edition. It's nice. Uh, Now, what was next? Publisher. It was publisher. So, publisher. Oh, I forgot input here. Input. Yes. A publisher input. It is also in string, so we are taking just input only. Enter book publisher name. Now the last one is price. So it is going to be taken in float data type. Enter book price. So this. Now we have successfully iterated through list. We match the ID which we want to update. Then we get the option to update all the values. And now we are going to set the value once more. After taking the value, we are going to set the value again. We have set the initial value where in the book class. Now we are going to set the value again after the updation. Okay, so we have taken 4 parameters for updating. So we need to set all the parameters. So set name, we are going to pass name there. Book. Oh, I forgot to use where I need to update, because we used books. We are storing our element in this variable after iteration, right? So we need to do this book dot or books dot set name books dot set edition books dot set publisher. Next one is books dot price. So now we have set our new values. After the updation, we have set successfully the values to the list. That list, which list we have taken? Uh, this list. We have successfully updated the values in that. Now, one more condition we need to give here, that else if ID gets matched, then it's fine. If it's not get matched, then you need to print statement like book not found, and use a break statement here. Let's see if this break is working here. If it's not work, we will remove it afterwards. But for now, we need to give it. Okay. Now, by this, we can successfully say that our second class, which was operation class, has been successfully completed. We have successfully created operation class. We have taken an empty list. We have added functionality to the class, to our application, for adding book, for viewing book, for deleting, for searching the book by ID, searching the book by name, and updating the values to that particular book if something is there or if we want. Now, two classes has been completed. If I run this one also, no, it's not going to give you anything. It's not going to give you some any output. The reason is that there is no object created and called to get the actual output or to run our application. Okay, that's the reason uh, this part of the code will also not run. I will run this separate code in a separate notebook. I'll open that notebook afterwards after completing our whole code. For now, I'm doing the whole code in this notebook only. So there we will run it afresh. Okay. So now let's add one more cell. Huh. So two class has been completed. Now come to our slide. So see, we have successfully completed our two classes. That is for initializing our variable, that is the book class, and next the operation class for creating our specific operation which is related to that application. Now we come to the main class. Through the main class, we are going to run our whole project, our whole code. So we need to create it. We need to give a choice. We need to create a list for choosing the options, for performing the operation on it. So how we are going to do all these things through our main class. Okay. So now let's move on to the main class. That is how we are going to create it. Class main. We'll give the name class as main. Now, in this, what we are going to do? We are going to create a list for the choices. That we get a list of choices. Like this, you can say, add book, delete book, third will be view book, fourth will be search book by ID, fifth one will be search book by name, and the last one was what? Update book. So we will create some different, we'll give some different kinds of name, or will naming convention will be different. I have just given you example so that you can understand what we are going to do through main class, how we can make our code look more attractive. Okay, so whenever we are creating our main class, so and whenever I run our code or execute our main code, so this is how we are going to get a list. And when we are choosing any option now, then that particular operation is going to be performed on it. Okay, so this looks very nice when we like get some options, like when our application will start after the login and registration. So they're going to give you options. Okay, do you want to add some books, or you want to view some books from the library? These all things they are going to ask. So in this manner you can make your code looks very nice. Okay, so this we are going to build in our main class. So we are going to like write a user defined function here as well for the execution. Okay, for the execution of our code. So we write a function named execute, and what we are going to pass as self will always be there in our function. Other than self, we are going to pass a choice, like which choice we are choosing, adding for book, viewing, or searching, or updating, what we are choosing. So the choice is going to be passed here as a parameter in the execute function, and other is the operation. And this operation is going to be come from where? This operation is going to be come from this operation class, that which operations we are choosing. So what all we are passing here in the execute function? Two things: our choice, we want to do what, and operation which is going to be performed. Okay, now we are going to use if, nested if. You cannot say nested if, but yeah, you can say if function. We are going to use multiple if functions here to execute our program on a particular choice. Okay, so if choice equals to 1, print, like let's make our code some like seeing very good. So I'm making it like this. Add book. If our choice will be 1, so which operation it is going to perform? It's going to perform the add operation. So from operation class, we are calling operation dot add book, because we have used this add book function. We have created this add book user defined function here. This is going to be performed if we choose option 1. So don't confuse why I used this operation. So this operation I have used here, from here, and it's a kind of object which we are going to create further for calling that particular operation class. So that object is passing here, and for that reason I have taken that from that operation, call this add book, and the addition function is going to be performed on that. So we are going to write other part as well in the same manner. If choice equals to 2, then print view book. The star looks very nice. You can give whatever you want, it's your choice. I'm using stars. Operation, what was the like definition of the function, or the name of the function which we used for viewing the book? It was view book. We use this name only. So we'll write, please, whenever you do any code, no, just concentrate on the naming convention. Okay, because it is like very much required, or you can say it's very much important. If you put your naming convention wrong, no, so your whole code is going to be crashed. So don't crash your code, otherwise you will be in a great problem. So try to remember, or if not, once go back and recheck. Okay, so that your code won't get crashed. Now the third, if choice equals to 3. So print. What we are going to do in is delete book. As if we enjoy deleting everything. Nowadays from our phone, we enjoy deleting everything. Operation dot, what function we use for deleting? It's delete book. Now, next, 3 more choices. If choice 3 equals to, if choice equals to 4, print search book by ID. Which operation? Let's see, operation spelling is correct. Operation, I made a mistake. Operation, operations. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah. Just a moment, guys. Wait a minute. Chalo back, guys. We are on a mode to start again and finish a code. So now, where was we? We were at creating the choice for 4. So by choosing 4, we are going to do what? We are going to search book by ID. So operation dot, what naming convention we use for that function is search book by ID. We use this. Now our next choice, if choice equals to 5. If our choice is 5, then we are going to print what? Search book by name. Operation dot search book by name. Now our last choice, if choice equals to 6, print update book. What was the function we used for it? Operation dot. We use update and book. I think the naming convention is good for now. Whatever is used, I remember. But if something happens or some error comes, we will solve it. We will solve it. So it's not like that. You need to remember each and everything from your code. But okay, it's fine if you get some error. You can solve it. If you can make this code, so you can solve everything inside that code. Keep that in mind. Don't worry about small errors. So now our choices has been made. We have created a execution function which is going to execute our whole program or whole project, and through our choices whatever we are going to make it. Okay, now is the time to create object of our main class and run our whole project. So how we are going to do that? We are going to create first the object of our main. So first we are going to create an object of the operation class. As I told you earlier also, why we are creating the object of operation class, the reason is that we are passing two parameters in execution at the time of execution. First is choice and second is the operation. So where that operation is coming, the operation is coming from that operation class, as I already told you, because we are calling the functionality from this class only. So how, if we are calling something from a different class, so how we are going to call that? Through objects only. So we need to create the object for the operation class. So I'll take the naming convention as same. The reason is that you don't get confused with other names. So try to take with names which is similar with the name in the other classes. So it will make your code easier, make your coding very easier. Okay, so operation, we have successfully created our operation class object, that is operation, by calling this operation class. Now next we are going to call this main class, because we have created this main class by our own. No, this is a user defined class, so we need to create an object for it for calling this main class. Okay, so now we are going to create this. So main equals to main. We have successfully created the main class. Now we are going to like make a list. We are going to show our user a list, this list, so that they can select anything they want from it, do any operations they want from it, and perform their action, and then successfully, after successfully complete the completion of their action, they are going to come out of that application. So how we are going to show them this list? And it's not like, one more thing, that if at the first time you show them this list, okay, so next time what will happen, they have selected one for adding the book. So while executing this function, this part will run. Okay, so if this part ran, operation done successfully, then the program will get closed, exit automatically. So we don't want that, right? Why we don't want that? Because sometimes we also like, see, if you are let's take a practical example. If you're using Facebook, okay, so while using Facebook, you have changed your profile picture, you logged in and you changed your profile picture and came back to some home page. Okay, but after coming to home page, you, okay, after changing your profile picture, you came out of that application automatically. But you remember that, or you think that, oh, I want to change my bio of the profile as well. So now I came out of the like application. How we are going to do that again? We need to again log in and do all of the stuffs again. So it is going to be a very hectic and loosey kind of thing. Okay, so we don't want the user to face this kind of thing. So for that, what we do, okay, you have changed your profile picture, you will come to the home page, you will see your menu again, that okay, now I want to change my bio, or I want to update my bio. So they were going to like choose the update option for the bio, and they update them, and then they come out of the program by their own choice, not automatically. Okay, so for this, again and again looping kind of thing, doing performing one action, coming to the home page, doing other action, and coming again to the home page. So for doing all these things, we need to do one thing here. What we need to do, whatever choices we are going to take, we are going to take it inside the while loop. As I already told you before, we use while loop when we have some condition to be met. So now what condition we are going to met? We are performing true to that while loop till when we don't want to come out by ourselves. Okay, still then we need to perform. So that's why I'm taking while true. It will be always true. It is going to be always true. It's a concept of a truthy. It's a concept of some truth equivalent in Python, which gives always true or yes as an output. Okay, now we are going to give an option for a choice. Whenever you logged in, they will ask for you a choice. Which options you want to choose with the view of the list, this list. With the view of this list, they will ask you a choice. Okay, which option you want to choose to work on? Which option you want to choose to work on? Then you will put your input. Okay, I choose one. You will give like this, and then the background function will happen, and you will get your output automatically. So for that, we need to give a choice option. So choice, we are going to take an int, because we are taking it in a number. The id, we are going to take it in a number. So we are going to take an int choice equals to int input, enter. Session, we are giving new line, because after uh every section, we are giving our next section in the next line, or next value in the next line. So that we are using /n, then 1. First will be for add book, second one will be for view book, third one will be for delete book, okay, fourth, I missed the numbers, 2, 3. Now next will be 4. Fourth one is to search book by id. Fifth one is search book by name. Last one is your update book. Now we have made the choices, and through our choices, we are going to call this execute function. So how we are going to call, we have created the object with this, of this main class, right? So we are going to call here main dot execute. Main is the object, we are calling the execute function from it. What we are passing in it, we are passing the choice and operation which we used here. We pass these two things in the main class, choice and operation. So by this line of code, we successfully completed our application coding part. Now we will try to run our code. So I am going to show you the output in a separate Jupyter notebook. So let me open it. I'm running it in a browser notebook, not in any software, or not installed the Jupyter notebook in my PC. I am using a browser notebook. If you want to do it, it's a compatible code, so you can run it in the uh, VS Code Jupyter notebook by installing on browser or in some other online compiler as well. It's your choice where you want to use and how you want to use, or how you want to build. At last, I'm going, after running it successfully, I'm going to give you some very important point of views regarding this application, and some related applications which you can make by using this application, or taking the idea from it and building it. You can use that as well, and some more tips how to make your uh, like notebook, not notebook, how to make your project or how to make your application looks more good, safe and secure kind of thing. So how you are going to make all of these after running the code, I'll tell you about all this. So for this, I already showed you. I'll copy paste there the same code. I'll show you. There will be no output for this. I just copy pasted the same thing. Just run this cell. It is not going to give you an output. It's ran successfully because it's showing you one hair and there is no error. It means it's ran successfully. Not showing any, sorry, not showing any input. The output, the reason is that we haven't called any execution function here. So that's the reason. Now we came to our second class, which we have built. What class was that? That class was operation class. So we'll copy paste this as well, whole till update. This is also not going to give you any output. But if after running, if there is some error, we need to like figure it out. I don't think so there is any error. So you can see here is showing 2 and there is no error. It means it's ran successfully. There is no error. Now come to our main class, which we have done. Let's see if it giving us the real output or throwing some error or doing what. Let's see. Let's now run it. Hope for the best, guys. So see, it is giving us the successful output. Let's uh, do our means perform our each and every function and see that if each and every function of ours is working properly or not. We have successfully built this application or not. So how we are going to do? Start with adding books. What we are going to do first? Add books, because we have an empty, so we need to one. It is asking you to enter the book ID. So book ID 1. Name of the book, give like Give some book. Harry Potter, edition 1. Publisher name, we don't know. Let's write it XYZ. Book price, 250 rupees. Done. Now it is giving you, it's showing book ID, enter this. Harry Potter, this, book added successfully. Okay. Now what it is giving you, it is like giving you the options again. As I told you, we need the options again and again. We don't want to exit out of the whole application, then log in again, then do our work. We don't want to do this kind of thing. Okay. So now we are going to add one more book so that we can see the other parts as well. So one again, 2. Now book ID is 2. Book name will be, you can write Azadi. Okay. Edition, keep it as 2. Publisher name would be, you can take ABC. Book price will be 500.20. Book added successfully. Both books has been now added. Wow, it's running nice. So the next part, now we have added 2 books. Now we want to view our books, if it's added or not. Select 2. See, it is showing you the output. Book 1, details. Book 2, details. It's giving you successfully. See, we have entered 250 here, right? We have entered 250. As you can see, the first price, the price of the first book was 250. We write only 250 here, not anything in point. But when we are viewing the book, no, it is showing you the price as 250.0. The reason is that we have taken the data type of this particular parameter as float. That's the reason it's showing you 250.0. Now we have successfully seen the 2 functions. We'll move on to the other. We'll do the delete one at last, because we don't want to add again and again and do this thing, because the functionality is working properly. So we'll do the third option at last. Let's do 6th option, update book first. No, let's try to do 5th option, then we'll move on to 6th, and then 4th, then last. So 5th option, we need to search 5th option. Okay. Search book by name. So we need to enter the name of the book. It's Azadi. Okay. Now enter it. Okay, it's giving us some error. Name book list is not defined. Okay. I forgot. So sorry. I don't need to take the book list. I need to take it as self dot book list. Let's check in the others as well. Yes, it will throw, this will also going to throw error. Self dot book list. Self dot book list, self dot book list. Rest is fine. Okay, now we need to run again. Run it. Sorry. Run. Sorry, we need to do this again now then. Sorry. I gave 1 dot. Chalo, run it again. 1. Enter the book ID 1. Book name Harry Potter 1 edition 1, publisher XYZ, book price 250. We'll add one more book. 2, book name was Azadi. Second, ABC 500.20. View book is successfully showing us the book details. Now we were searching book by name. Azadi. Now it is like successfully giving you the book details. That okay, this is Azadi. It's successfully giving to you. Now we'll move on to the update book part. Okay, I ran a mistake. I done a mistake. So you need to be careful whatever you are like getting while running the program and how you are tackling that. You need to check all these things properly. Okay, because it's some mistake is mine, some mistake I'm doing while giving the inputs because the condition is not meeting and we are giving the error. So try to use some exception and handling part also while you get some error. So your code will make more like good, familiar, error free. Okay. So add one more book. Get it done. Viewed successfully. Fifth part. Search book by name. Azadi. Getting it. Sixth number. ID. I want to update the first one. Okay. Harry Potter one. The execution is long, so it's going to. Book has no attribute. Get ID. Why? What's the setter? Okay. Where I was doing that get ID. So here was the mistake. The function name was this, and I used different name. Okay. So it will be a mistake in one more. No, in this it's good. I by mistakenly I added this. I need to run again. Give me some time, guys. We need to check our error, then run it again. As we know, our two functionalities is working fine, so we'll not do the other part. We'll do just the update, then search book by ID, and then delete one. Oh, what happened? Okay, in ID I given wrong. Now we'll directly move on to the sixth option, that is update book, because we have already done rest. So one, enter the book name. Book name was Harry Potter, so we want to keep it as it is. Don't want to change. Edition, want to change second edition. Publisher name will be same, XYZ only. Why I'm giving a string to float? Okay, so sorry what I have done. See, the mistake which we have done, we haven't taken input here, input function. So that's the reason it is giving us the error. Now we need to run again one more time. So this is how we tackle our problem when we do our code in a real time manner. So when you do your code first time, no errors is going to come with the output. So you need to tackle that. How you are tackling that part, it's more like good. So and it will make you very familiar to find in the function, in the part of finding the bugs and resolving that bugs kind of thing in your project or in your organization, whoever are working or whoever are targeting to be in the organization. It is going to be very much helpful for you. Add one more time the second book. Mm, First only ABC 500.02. Update option. One, name was Harry Potter. Edition has come second edition. Publisher name XYZ. Price I want to update. Price, make it the price is 1,000. Now again we got the error. What is this error? Set name, one positional arguments, but two were given. So let's see. Okay, I have missed set underscore. This have been missed. So now it will going to be work fine. So this is how when you run your code and you see the error coming. Now I'm not going to add two books and show you the update. I'll add a single book and we'll show you the update. Okay. So no, we don't need to get directly to 6. 1, add 1, Harry Potter, book edition 1, ABC. First I'll give 500.02. Okay. Now view it. So you can see, you can view one. This is the details of the book which is currently stored in our library. Now we want to update it with the other edition. So I want to update book ID 1. Book name will remain same. Edition will become now 2 because we are adding second edition as well. Or updating, we are removing the first one because it has been read by many of them and now they require the second edition for it. So we are introducing second edition in our library. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll use the publisher name will be same. Price, make it the price as 1,000. Again we are getting error. Set name, set edition. What error we are getting? Publisher, fine. Price, books dot books. Books. Let me check if it all is correct or not. Books dot set name, set edition, set publisher, set price. It's price. Fine. It's good. Books. Books has been used. Yes. Let's run it again. Zadi 1 ABC 500 6 1 Zadi 2 ABC 1000. No, I'm again getting the error. Set name text one positional argument, but 2 has been passed. Set edition, set publisher, set price. Set name. Let's run one more time. Okay. Update it. Let's update the edition. Again, we are getting this operation.update book. It's the name is fine. Update book. Update book. If first error was we are getting at this only. Update book. Update book. Guys, let's wait for 1 minute and then we'll do. Let's take a break. So yeah, hi guys, I'm back. So that's how we are getting some error while we are updating something. It's showing some set name, text one, positional argument, but two were given kinds of thing. So you need to figure it out how we can resolve this error because all the things are given here. So just check back the code and done this. So you can use this code with other application if you want to make some kind of restaurant, some kind of quiz and all. You can use this code as well. Use some validation to make secure your application. Try to build some registration and login kind of thing using the all this concept, and you will be very good with your software or applications which you want to make. Okay, so try to do it and get yourself updated and make a big project or a very successful project to be a part of it. So thank you guys. We can wrap up this workshop now. We'll again see some very interesting things in another workshop. So be ready for that and utilize this workshop at your fullest. Thank you.